The old railway tunnel's open again, they said, so we decided to go and take a look, but not before we'd walked down the trackbed of this old long forgotten branch line. It's now thankfully been turned into a nice walkway. When we got to the tunnel it raised a whole load of other questions, so we decided to educate ourselves about a lesser known branch line just outside of Oldham called the Delph Donkey. Right, see where he is there now. Is it open? Is it open? Yeah. Right, so you see what we're against here. See this pond going up and down there. Those guys up there showed us the way in. Saved us having to go through all the swamp down there. So if you come in this way, come down at the side of, so if you come to the Gate Tunnel, come right down at the side of it. Hello, my name is Martin, welcome back to another video. Where are we, James?
We are in Lidgate.
Lidgate, we're in Grotton in Oldham. I'll show you on the map where we are. This Disused railway tunnel. We've not done one of them for a while, have we? I came here years ago and got to the entrance to this tunnel here, and it was all locked up, covered in vandal paint. We've had the tip off that it's open, so we've come to do a video. We're going to walk through to the end and we're going to come back through the other way. So will be our finish point. It's an absolute quagmire around here, swamp, so if you come here you've got to come down by the side of the tunnel entrance. Okay, so where are we this week? Well, there's Manchester city centre and we're going north east to the town of Oldham. In fact, we're going east of Oldham to this area here between Oldham and Lees. We're kind of here. Let me zoom in on that area for you. Right, so there you go, here's the area in more detail. There's Oldham. As I said, we're going east, so we need to go down here. You can actually see our old disused railway line here. See how it runs there? It's now a cycle and walkway, cycle path and walkway. And there's the tunnel we're going in. And it's in an area called Springhead and Grotton. Let's just move that to the centre over there. If we pull in down here, what we've done, we've come off the main road here and down Station Road. Station Road's always a giveaway, isn't it? And as I said, there's our disused railway line. And there's the cutting it goes into, and that's where we're going to go into the tunnel there. Now what we did, we entered the tunnel there, did a bit of a recce all the way through, and we started filming from the far end. So you join us over at this end of the tunnel here, at this cutting here. So here we go, and we're going to walk backwards towards the entrance. Right, so we have the ladder. So I'm going to go up there, I'm going to show you what's on the other side. I believe it's in a, I think it's in a cutting. I've once looked at trying to get in this side, but it's really difficult. Right, so bear with me. Who says I'm not agile?
What's he like?
Oh, deer.
What?
Deer running down. What chuck is that? Oh.
You got it?
Got it. Right, here we are. So this is the exit. There you go. So another cut in, and when I was just first got up here I was banging my feet, some deer went running that way. You still couldn't get out this side, it's a bit of a drop down there. So you see it says on there, confined space. There you go, so that's the other side. Obviously, as always with these things, they come out into a cutting. Okay, so let's get walking back towards Grotton. So what is this railway line? Right, well, this is Lydgate Tunnel, and it's on the Oldham, Greenfield and Delph railway line, now long since disused. It was built by the London North Western Railway Company in 1849 to connect Oldham to Greenfield and Delph. It was affectionately known as the Delph Donkey. Now, where did that name come from? It came from the fact that there apparently back in the day there was a donkey or a horse-drawn service on the line. Now that's unlikely because the line actually has to join with the main Manchester to Huddersfield railway line and then branch back off again. So it's unlikely you would have got a little donkey pulling a train up the main line for a bit. I think it's to do with the fact that there was a little, like a shunt, a push-pull service between Oldham and Delph, but I could be very wrong. Anyway, there you go, 1849. Yeah, this is what I like, these refuges that are actually bare rock behind them. There's a better one further down. But what they've done is, it's stone and then brick. Normally they're brick lined, aren't they? But this is actually just pure bare rock. Love that. Reminds me of Standage a bit. That shouting you've heard is some young lads that have followed us in on their way home from school. Now, the line closed in 1955, although it was open to freight until about 1963. I'm going to show you later some little branches that went off to mills and various yards and things like that. So the track was lifted in 1964, and here's a picture of the Delph Donkey in 1955 on one of its last passenger runs. So this wonderful picture will be 1955, and apparently it's Delph Station. End of the line. Now these shafts get deeper as you go along. They're quite shallow at the beginning, but as you go along up there, you'll see they're quite deep now. Fascinating. Look at the stone rim round the outside. Always gets me because the arch of the tunnel must be supporting the weight of all the bricks in the shaft. Is that right? I don't know. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
That's all it.
Right, which way does it come this way, right? Okay, so here's our trusty favourite, rail map online, and you can see the main line there. This railway line here has come from Manchester, ran through Staley Bridge, and it runs up here, through this valley up here, through Upper Mill, there's Greenfield, and it runs up to Huddersfield. This line here is now the Metrolink. This used to be the Oldham Loop, but it's now the Metrolink. But anyway, let's press our magic button and bring on the historic railways. And there you go. And there's our line that came from Oldham through Lees, through the Lydgate Tunnel, and it joined the main line that's currently there today. Served Greenfield, or just outside of Greenfield. And then it went up the main line and branched off again to Delph. There you go. And that's why it's called the Delph Donkey, because it went this way and it just did the short journey over to Delph there. So if we zoom into our line, here it is leaving Oldham, and you can see it takes this way here, sort of along Lees Road, if you like, up here, a couple of branches here. I think one of these may have been a engine shed. Yes, there you go, engine shed, and I'll show you what remains of that in a bit. And the engine shed was near to Lees Station. And here we are on the old maps. There's St John Street in the little village of Lees, just outside Oldham. And we've got the engine shed, as I showed to you on Rail Map Online. You've got that bit of a goods yard there. Let's have a look what happened to the engine shed, or what it's doing today, shall we? Take a look at this as we turn time forward. Oh look, we've got houses there now. Pineway runs right through where the engine shed was. But the old line is now a walkway, and me and James are going to walk down here briefly for you just to show you what it's like now. Right, so I'm going to show you the track bed of the Delph Donkey and what it's like today. This is now a cycleway and walkway, so I'm going to show you what it's like. Right, so for a reference point for you, look at that bridge there and that beautiful half ellipsed arch, right? So that way is Oldham. James is going to tell you where we are now.
So this is the site of Lee's Station. I'm going to show you some old pictures now of what it used to look like before.
This is unfortunately what you have to cope with.
On its way back.
Is it deep?
Yeah, it's deep.
So it's just show them. So it looks like it shouldn't be deep. But how far are you going in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to go down the side here along a piece of wood so that you don't sink in. In fact, I think last time I just walked either side of the wood, if I remember rightly. It's not too bad. But if you do come here,
Bring wellies.
These wellies. So James demonstrates the way back. That's not the bad one, the next one's the worst one. But you think it's nothing, but it actually gets deep there. So the service that came through the tunnel was a push-pull service. Apparently the steam locomotive dragged it from Oldham through to Delph. You'll see the map I've shown you. And it pushed it back towards Oldham, and because it was back and forth on a little steam locomotive, push pull, it was affectionately nicknamed by the locals as the Delph Donkey, which is a cracking name, I think. Now I know legend has it that originally it was a donkey that pulled the train, but it wouldn't have. Don't forget the line comes out of Oldham, has to join a main line, the Ashton to Huddersfield line that's come from Manchester, and then branch off again over at Dob Cross and Delph. So it, like the sort of like sources say when you read, it says it was unlikely a donkey would have pulled it. So I think, as I've just said, it was probably some silly story about a donkey pulling it, or it was the fact that one little locomotive that went backwards and forwards all day. I don't know, but there you go. There's my theories. Right, so James is going to tell you some information. How long was the tunnel, James?
I think it was 1,332
yards long.
Yards long.
Was it single track or double track?
It was double.
Double track tunnel, that's right. And as you can see, it's wide enough for a double track tunnel. The tunnel is longer than what I thought, to be honest with you. And as we go through, there's bits that are completely dry like this. As you can see, just ballast. But there are bits that are completely waterlogged, really bad. And come over here, James. So if you come over here, see the old signalling trough? That would have that's wood, that, and it would have carried cables, signalling cables through. And then it looks like we've got a bit of a sleeper there, and that feels soft underfoot. So there you go. And there's one of the refuges that are just pure bare rock. So they've bricked it to a point, and it's just bare rock. I think it's impressive, that.
Cool.
It's quite scary because when you look at that, you get the impression of what you're going through and what's around us and what's above us, and the fact of what they've had to tunnel through to get here, to dig the tunnel, and you also get the impression of what they were faced with when they were coming through the tunnel, just rock like that. So it always impresses me, that. I find it quite daunting, to be honest with you. So as you can see, stone line tunnel. And then occasionally you get these big mounds of rubble, which I don't know what it's about, that. It's just stuff piled up in here, whether it's from collapses, but there's a lot of brick in that. So I don't know why it's appeared here. I really don't, because if you see the tunnel is actually stone lined. So one of the things you'll notice as we go from the east to west, the shafts are really, really high and really tall when you're looking up them. And then the last one we get to is actually one of the shallowest ones, but you'll see that on camera. Right, so you see we've got repairs there. We've actually got some bracing there. Can you see that bracing? Wonder what that's about.
Just to strengthen it.
Yeah. You can see it's quite high, that. So we're quite deep underground now, the hillside above us. I can't even see the top. Obviously it's capped, but I actually can't see the top there at all. Can you? I can just about, oh there you go, yeah, you can just see the top there, but not on the GoPro. Now for construction purposes there were 5 shafts dug. However, one of them was filled in and only 4 were left for ventilation purposes. As you can see, the shafts nowadays are capped. Back in the day, the 4 shafts would have been open because they needed that ventilation. So how deep are they? Well, I'm going to show you a bit of a breakdown now of these shafts. There you go. This technical information is from a brilliant site called forgottenrelics.org. Right, there you go, 5 shafts. Now the deepest there is 80 yards deep. Now I get that to 240 feet, so the rest of them are slightly shallower than that. Now shaft number 1A is a special one. Shaft number 1A had formerly been a colliery shaft, so it was basically a mine shaft, and it had not been used for many years. It was reopened by the contractor, and a cross-heading was driven from it into the tunnel. So there you go, so they utilised the former mine shaft there. And as we look at the old maps, you can see there 4 shafts dotted along the length of the tunnel. The eagle-eyed amongst you will be able to see that. They were like little turrets above ground. They would have been visible above ground. Looking at the modern day map today, there's no evidence of the shafts because they're all capped. It looks like they're all underground as well. Now, there was another video where somebody spotted a circular area in the ground where one of the shafts had been, but I don't think there's any evidence of them today, unless locals know any different.
There's the refuge there. The cable was there. Have a look at this cable.
There's the mist in the area. You see the mist in the air?
Yeah.
So here we are, as you can see, back in a very dry section of the tunnel. Now there is a reason why we keep hitting wet and dry in this tunnel, and I will explain to you in a moment after this short break. Sunny day.
Nice day.
Thirsty?
Very. Brew?
Brew? Right, so on the brew this week we've decided to do something different, haven't we?
Yes.
So rather than all that sticky stuff, that cakes and everything, because we are both getting a little bit portly and we're looking to lose weight.
Yeah.
We're doing the sandwich test. Ideally, I would have made a sandwich, he'd make a sandwich, we would both try it, but I didn't get a chance to make one. So this week he's made the sandwich and I'm going to score it out of 10. You know the format. Here we go.
Try to make it nice and strong. Don't put like too much milk in.
Strong? You wouldn't know what strong was. This is the sandwich he's made. What have you made?
I made a ham and cheese butty with mustard.
And is it all like out-of-date ham and all bread and
we'll try
something
it.
You were going to feed to the ducks but you never got a chance to? A big lump of cucumber on there.
It was a bugger to cut.
I bet it was, yeah.
And butter.
Yeah, and butter, because that's a challenge for you. Is the cucumber one for me or can I have the one underneath?
You're the one underneath.
Right, great. Without cucumber?
Yeah.
Right, brilliant. Ham, mustard and cheese made by James in his strange kitchen. There's a pickle on it.
Yeah.
What pickle?
It's like a small onion pickle.
Pickled onion? I'll let you know in a minute. You don't know what's me eating, I'll let you know.
What do you rate the sandwich?
It was nice effort. The thing you could mainly taste was the pickle and the mustard. The bread was all right, but as sandwiches go, I mean, there's a big vast range for sandwiches and they can be really good. And you know yourself, that was a pretty average sandwich, weren't it? So I'm going to give it maybe a 6.5 because of the effort you put into it, but 6.5, is that all right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Are you pleased with that?
Yeah, it only took me 2 minutes to do.
There you go, 6 out of 10. I noticed you got a nice striped t-shirt on.
You like it?
Yeah, but I'm not being funny. Since when did cords come back in fashion?
They've always been in fashion.
Did somebody tell you that cords were in fashion?
I just thought they looked good.
Where'd you get them from? Like somebody dyeing them?
Charity shop.
Let's crack on with this video. Right, so I'd mentioned that there were wet and dry areas of this tunnel, and that's because they encountered problems when they were digging the tunnel. The The tunnel goes through coal measures, apparently, and faults are common in this formation, and several were met in the course of the work. Apparently there was a fault that it met, and the rock was quite divided up. While some of the tunnel was strong shale and rock veins, the other half of it was in a mass of wet and loose shale. I'm going to give you a breakdown again now from the same website, Forgotten Relics, of the different sort of rocks they encountered during the construction of this tunnel. It just shows you a short section going underground and just what you can encounter and the problems they encountered. Iron stain section here now.
They would have dropped from it, come down there.
It's the ingress of the water, so you see it's really iron stained here. So it's like what we call the Mars section. Everything's just covered in iron staining, but it'll have come through
the rock.
Well, it's come through the rock, but it's also come from down from that shaft there. And for some reason, somehow that shaft there'll be iron leaking into it.
Yeah, there's some work up there or something.
I don't know, but you can see that's quite a deep shaft as well. That on the GoPro you can't see the top of that completely. Everything that's coming through here is absolutely iron stained. And outside is a completely dry day.
Martin's going across.
Quite firm at the side there, but...
Try not to fall. Thanks for passing me all the equipment.
I just walked either side of it, it was just as easy.
These are brand new.
I just got a flicker of light then in the tunnel up ahead.
So, I think there was a mill owner called James Lees.
James Lees?
James Lees.
Yeah, where's he based?
I think he was based in Greenfield, so not far from here. And he promoted the railway site.
But people obviously wanted people to come through from Oldham to get through to Greenfield, didn't it? To work in the mill, because Oldham would have been probably quite heavily populated.
Yeah.
Greenfield a bit more rural.
Yeah, because Oldham was loads of mills in Oldham and quite heavily populated.
So he would have probably promoted the fact that you can jump on the Delph Donkey, get through and come and work at his mill.
Yeah.
So this is obviously around the time when cotton was king, and a certain Mr. James Lees, who owned a mill over in Greenfield, heavily promoted this line and also put a lot of money into it as well. No doubt he wanted to get workers into Greenfield from Oldham, and he also wanted to get his goods out as well. Oldham would have been densely populated, and there was loads and loads of mills in Oldham, so he would have wanted to get some of that skill over to his mill in Greenfield, it being a little bit more rural out there in Saddleworth. Right, I'm going to have to read this to you. So the tunnel has a span of 25 feet and a southerly curve towards its western end. That's the way we're walking. So a southerly curve, so that'll be going that way round, southerly curves at western end. It's masonry line throughout, but later repair work has been undertaken in brick. So that's why we're seeing brick.
Martin's new wells are getting decked in.
Shows the stream, we can wash it.
Mine, cheap and cheerful.
Cheap and cheerful, James. Anyway, at the west end of the tunnel, which is the portal that we're walking towards, is Grotton and Springhead Station. There's nothing left of it, just a platform and the station buildings, which are now a private house. There you go, and that's the station master's house there. That's the line there to one side. That's the station master's house. It's now private, somebody lives there, but quite a lovely building, isn't it? Right, so here we are. This is Grotton and Springhead Station. The platforms are still here, can you believe? And then just going down that way, you pointing down that way, James? Going down that way, we see there, it goes into a cutting, and then an absolute quagmire, like a swamp, and then it leads up to the Lydgate Tunnel. So some brick repair work there. So there is quite a bit of repairs that have been done over the years. They did look at the end of the life of the tunnel, they looked at basically either infilling it or collapsing the whole thing in and then probably just filling over the top. But it proved to be very expensive. There wasn't the will to do it, and there'd been buildings built on the top of the course of the tunnel, and so it became a little bit of an impractical thing to do. So there you go, it still stands. So, as you know, end of the line was Delph Station, but you can see there between Lydgate Tunnel and Delph Station, there's quite a bit of the line left. We didn't go up that far, we mainly concentrated on the tunnel. Here's an old picture of Delph Station as it was back in the day, and if we look at the old maps, you can see it there. And if we turn time forward, you can also see what's there today. We've still got station approach, is it? Station Road. And I think the old station building is occupied now. It's a private residence. So if you want to do a little bit of research yourself, look on Google Maps, you can see what it's like today. But I'm going to leave you with a couple of photos of Delph Station. These monsters coming through, look at that. Normally we usually see them in culverts, don't we, James?
Yeah, there's a repair there as well. Metal repair.
Oh yeah, some metal repair up there, look at that. Interesting. And as we get to the end of the tunnel, the western portal, you'll see, that's what we went to the gate. You'll see it's double fenced here. So this is what kept people out for years, because they rather cunningly put this initial fence in here, and then I don't know where you're going to walk in here, and then a second fence up there that should just be coming into view now. And I remember coming here, like I say, years ago, and this was covered in vandal paint and everything. And there you go. Tries to look right up the tunnel so it looks good. Anyway, there you go. Western portal now of the Lydgate Tunnel. We're filthy.
It was interesting though, them thingies were good, the shafts were good.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing us, it was a really good original idea.
Well, I did tell you that it was open.
We got word it was open. Anyway, there you go, that's Lydgate Tunnel. Whether they'll lock it back up or not, I don't know. If you do come down here and take a look, wellies.
Yeah.
Wellies massively.
But this would be beautiful if they opened it up and they had it like, where do they have it where it's opened up?
Monsell Trail.
The Monsell Trail is beautiful, and I think this could be nice.
Yeah, it'd be good. View. Apart from the swamp behind the camera.
Yeah.
Other than that,
obviously, yeah.
Anyway, thanks for watching.
See you in a bit.
And we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.